Okay, I want to welcome the wonderful Jodie Hodges. I'm so thrilled to have her here. She is part of our team at VA Institute, but she, of course, runs her own VA business like anyone who comes into our team does. So she's been a successful VA for probably as long as I have. Yeah, about 10, 12 years, I reckon.
Oh, I think it's a bit longer. A
bit longer, yeah. You might have been pre-me, so we're kind of...
Dinosaurs.
Virtual dinosaurs. Anyway, Jodie's business is Virtually Organised. And when I met Jodie, way back when, it was through a mutual client. That was a really interesting experience, and we learned a lot out of it, didn't we?
We sure did. There were quite a few VAs involved with that client too, so it was a really good connection of how to meet VAs and work in the industry. It's really good.
And we actually met, I think, through another network that we'd started with, didn't we?
Yeah. And I couldn't tell you what it was even called now. Do you know what it was called?
Yes, I do. It was 121 Temps. The awesome Liz Parker.
Liz. Hi, Liz.
Yes.
Yeah, Liz is still going.
Yes, it is because she's an awesome mentor. She was fantastic, and she certainly lit the light. I was going to say the candle for me.
She sparked our mojo to keep going within the industry.
Yes.
And the lovely Susan Wilkins was around then as well, and she's still in the industry, and she was another little bright spark that kept all that beginnings going.
Exactly. So I want to, unpack your journey as a VA, because, we may be older in the tooth as VAs, but we did start somewhere. And
yeah, absolutely.
We had to do the hard yards. So tell me about what your catalyst was for getting started.
So I had a really sick bub. And I was always a worker, and I wanted to do something, and I'm such a people pleaser that I kind of felt like I just had to do something to just keep working, obviously for financial, but just the joy of, helping others. That was my big little light bulb. And whilst my daughter was in and out of hospital, I couldn't hold a full-time job down. So I kind of fell into the industry of being able to work from home, so I could carry my laptop into the kids' ward. I could, still work and also be a mum, also, be the mum of a special needs bub at that stage. So it worked. I fell into this little niche that didn't really realise it was called a virtual assistant back then.
No. But what was your work history before that? What had you done in the past?
I worked in the financial planning, and way before that, I started on the front desk at the stock market, and then kind of worked my way up into funds management, and then kind of got into the executive assistant to a few of the well-known lads around town in the industry. Which I absolutely loved. And I do miss the Friday boardroom drink.
The thing is, we would have probably crossed paths back in the day, because I was working for the admin manager of a big stockbroking company as well. And we were like 2 streets back from the stock exchange.
Well, I think we worked out that we would work on, we would be at the same functions.
Yeah.
And on the same yachts and all the different things at the same time, but we didn't actually know each other back then.
You were from an opposing team, most probably. We were all very cliquey then, weren't we?
I was just so cliquey.
Yeah. So you had a great background, you really did. And then you moved, like I did, you moved to Coffs Harbour.
Yeah, I had kids and needed to be near grandparents and family, and just have that, reconnection of getting out of the big smoke. But I still really missed those, not high profile, but those connections in the industry. So working as a VA, I still can have those connections. So I can still work, and I do still work for people in the media and in well-known roles around Australia. So I absolutely love that. So I can be in my hometown, and like I may look glamorous up the top, but I am still rocking the tracksuit pants, and you know, you can't see them, but I've got tracksuit pants on, and my slippers. So, but I still miss having that connection of that city life. So being a VA, I can still do that.
So over the years that we've known each other, what what have you loved the most about, you know, your work, and have there been sort of any pivotal moments in your VA career that would stand out particularly, you know, in terms of what you've been able to achieve and the
Yeah,
lifestyle, that sort of thing?
absolutely. I've been able to travel with a few of my clients, which we have traveled together as well.
You have?
I've been to places. Look, I just never thought when I first started my journey that it was even possible to be able to work from home, have my own business, and to support people. So I like being behind the scenes, which I know is hard to believe when I'm so out there and crazy like this. But I work the best being behind. So I really like making my clients shine. And that's my big motto, to make others feel really happy, you know, that they can go and do their thing and everything behind the scenes is being taken care of. So I've traveled to places like Singapore, America, cruises, and all I have done is to make my clients look good, feel good, and then look, I get to go on holidays and then I feel great too. So I'm a big believer in supporting. What you put in, you get back.
Yes.
And I'm a big, and that was my pivotal moment when I realized that my clients loved me just as much as I loved them.
Yeah. And you can choose, can't you, who you're working with?
Absolutely. So look, there's been clients, like, don't get me wrong, I've had some clients for 10, 15 years.
Yeah.
But there's been clients that I haven't clashed. If they don't like my quirky personality, you know, they could be in a really serious pickle and I will giggle, and that's my way of dealing with things. And if you don't like that about me, you're not going to work with me. Like if you don't like my Disney mojo that happens, like I've got my little Disney earrings on, we're not going to work together. So, and there has been clients like that. So for everyone that thinks, you know, they look up to all the senior VAs, trust me, there will be people that you just clash with.
Yeah.
And that's okay.
Yeah, most definitely. And you have the choice to say, well, yeah, it's not working for me, because you are a business owner yourself.
Yeah, so. Absolutely. And look, the clients, you'll come to a mutual agreement. Look, there's been times where I thought I was doing a great job and was loving the role, and all of a sudden they're like, oh, we're getting another VA now. And I'm like, oh, you know, and then I go away and think, what have I done? But then as a business owner, you have to kind of reassess yourself, which is what, you know, one big thing that I've learned is, like, with your courses, keep studying, like keep learning, keep growing. Don't ever think that you're better than anyone else. Don't ever think you're a guru in an industry. Keep your mind just going and, you know, learn from mistakes, admit your mistakes and go, yeah, I did that. You know, I could have done something better there. And just keep growing and being just caring. That's all I can say with clients.
You are a very caring person, you know, and that's why I think we've gelled very much over the years. Just from the beginning, we've always been colleagues and friends, you know, as happens in our industry. VAs, it's a very collaborative industry.
Absolutely.
You get to meet other VAs, and we're just fortunate that we met each other so long ago, you know. So in terms of the skills that you offer, was there anything that you kind of didn't even realize you were going to be like? Is there something that you added
into
services that you just
I came from a real background of like finance and figures, and I always knew that I loved the bit of the arts or a bit of the quirky, like that's just my personality. So when I started to fall into the VA world, I found that a lot of my clients needed support with techie stuff or stuff that I had no idea with, like websites and landing pages and design. And I absolutely love that. So for about the first 10 years, I just threw myself into learning how to do WordPress, and I learned how to do like coding, and I'm not great at it, but I certainly learned how to do it. And I learned from other VAs. So, I offered my time. Obviously I was getting paid for it, but I was also learning as I went. So I never thought I would be into just like getting design work done or learning how to, back up websites and all that sort of thing. That was totally like not anything that I ever thought I would be doing. And I love it.
That's amazing, because, you wouldn't have thought when you started, you would have been like, well, this is what I can offer.
And I would have never thought that I would have been traveling like with clients. Just as much as I hate flying, and everyone knows I don't like flying. Even if you gave me champagnes, I still don't like flying. So I never thought I would be doing this sort of stuff. And my kids all know, like I've raised my kids, they're all grown adults pretty much now. And, I'm showing my daughter, who's now 16, like I'm showing her the ropes and trying to teach her a little bit as well. Not just admin skills, but the business side of it as well.
Yeah. And I think, that's really a great thing to be able to pass on. I've done it with my daughter as well. So, we're able to show our kids how to actually lead by example. We can be entrepreneurial and show them that it is possible to do whatever you want to do from, what the world's your oyster.
Yeah. And it's okay to show kids, about money, teaching about money. Like this is, I work hard to be able to do things. It's not always, perfect. There's days where they'll see me absolutely exhausted working really late because something has happened and I've had to resolve it. I've had to not go to functions and different things because I have had to stay back to fix stuff, but that's because I've chosen to do that too. So, right. I could have gone, but it's just not me. I always like to have things done, and then I can go and be happy. So the kids have seen both sides.
You are the classic people pleaser. I know.
Oh, absolutely. It's my worst trait and my best trait. So
that's why we love you.
Oh, thank you.
But what else did I want to ask you? As I said, it's like a fireside chat, right? It is a bit like a fireside chat. I've got the hair going full blast on my legs at the moment. So in terms of your future, how do you see your future playing out as a VA? What are your? Surely there's like the one thing that I know for me is that there's no use by date for us, right? I honestly don't see that as being an issue. So what's your intention in terms of your future?
Whoa, that's a bit of a tricky question.
Oh, I know. I'm sorry. I'm throwing it at you.
Look, if I can help one person as a VA starting to come through the ranks, and I don't mean ranks as in the guru ranks. I mean, like if you're starting off your business and you're having a really bad day, I'm more than happy to get in and help, or, just to give that bit of like, you can do it, hang in there. I'm also trying, in a few years' time, my clients, I just want to make their reachable goals. So I'm really into the goal setting. So I've got a few clients who, are donating time now. So they've reached the pinnacle of their career and now they're starting to work out what they can do to give back to society. So I'm kind of on that same
that's good
street with them. So we're, doing a lot of, like I work for Kamal, which we've both worked with him over the years. And he's the chair of Are You OK Day. So I'm doing a lot of stuff for that. And I'm really excited to be able to give back in some way that I never thought a VA could actually even be part of.
Yeah. I just think that the opportunity that we have as VAs, to travel with our trade. So, you know me, I pick up my laptop and I'm gone somewhere, and I've seen photos of you working from some beachside location. And I've gone on
and not a cocktail in hand, it was a mocktail, I'm sure.
Yeah. But, places we could only
imagine. Yeah, look, I've done it from America. I'm a massive fan of Disney, and I've travelled over there and, been able to go and spend time with the family through the day, and then I'll work like later in the afternoon or work early in the morning, then go out with the family, and then, you know, go out at night. And
That's
you know, be
exactly
very
right. I mean, when I go, you know, when I go to Dubai, because I've got a brother who
same.
is working with a Emirates, and so you know, I haven't traveled. We're not traveling at the moment, are we? When will we ever
No.
travel again? But anyway, when I go over there to see him, same thing. I do it a little bit differently. I get up like at 5 in the morning, and I
Yeah.
do about 4 hours work, and then I'm free to spend the rest of the time with my brother and his family. So, you know, you can travel and
Look,
you
you
can work as well.
Yeah, absolutely. So I also work for another client that we've both worked for before too, and he's part of Facebook marketing. So I've learned so much about Facebook and social media and the back end of stuff. And I never thought I would be doing that either. And I travel with that client all the time too.
Yeah.
So a massive shout out to Ben
Yeah.
and from BusinessNet. And look, I've been with Ben for probably, I don't know.
It'd be 5 or 6 years for sure.
Longer than that. 6, 7, whatever. It feels
Yeah.
like 10 years, but it's probably only 6 or 7.
Yeah.
And I've traveled all over the place with Ben, working, and then I would be doing, you know, events as well,
Yeah.
and making sure that they're all okay with the, you know, just being behind the scenes. So
It's an interesting journey, isn't it, really, when you think about it?
yeah, I never honestly thought I would be doing what I'm doing now.
Well,
And then
you would remember when I went to Barcelona with that client that we were, I think you were part of the team then too.
I think I just needs to do a little bit of your backup.
Yeah. So you might have done backup for me then.
Yeah.
Um,
And
yeah.
with my journey too, like working for you now with the VA Institute, it's so nice to be able to give back. Like as you said before, our industry really is a tight connection, and you know, I'm all girl power and giving back and looking after you. Girl code.
Yeah.
I'm such a girl code. You know, my belief is that if you know I look after you, someone's going to look after me. And it really is. And our industry is so supportive. Like I can get on the phone to a lot of girls, and I am sure they would be there in a heartbeat for any of us. So working with the VA industry and VA Institute, you know, I'm getting that opportunity to be able to talk to girls, and not only girls, there are quite a few gentlemen, but you know, it's just great to see that it's, you know, we're expanding. It's fantastic.
And I know you and I have been through situations, and I know, like for me personally, the catalyst, and I will always say this, was working with people who weren't set up properly, and that really turned me off big time. And being let down, I didn't deal with as a VA, because you know, as you know, we were outsourcing to Australian VAs to help us build our businesses, basically, in terms of backup and that kind of thing. And what really used to get up my nose was when people would not act professionally. And I think, you know, that's the thing that we stand for at VA Institute. And I mean, I just think that if you're not set up properly, well, you recognise this, it's going to really define.
Absolutely. You know, and little things like I remember we would have to stay back and work 11, 12 o'clock at night because someone said they were going to do something and they didn't do it. And it's not even that. It's my big thing too is communication. Like there are times where, yes, we do things wrong. There are times when we can't get onto things that we were supposed to. Like, you know, life does go a bit crazy sometimes, and our workload can just, you know, I could have a website crash, or Xero might be down, or a Word document didn't save properly, or, you know, we've all made mistakes, and you've got to go back and do stuff, and your time management can totally go pear-shaped. But if you communicate that, it's okay, because people actually, they know. And I found at the start when we were working with some of the VAs, there was the lack of communication.
Yeah.
But I'm finding with the VA Institute team and the girls that are coming through that, I haven't had any of those issues. They've been really, really good.
Yeah, I know. It's been fantastic to watch that, and to be part of that environment of growth. You know, it's makes me really happy to see what I guess, you know, the legacy that we're trying to build within.
Absolutely. And you know what, you can do it. So for the ladies that go, I'm struggling, I can't find work, it's tough. But never give up on yourself. Back yourself. I mean, I'm not a big, like, I don't like going out in public terribly much these days. I'm a bit of a homebody, but working VA, like working virtually, I can get onto calls and I can do trainings at like training sessions, and like our world is really, as much as you can take in, you can give out. So just never, don't give up on your dreams.
What would you say, the last thing I want to talk about is, what would you say about, because you just touched on that point of not really wanting to go out there, and I recognize that because, you know, most of us are happy to be in the background, right?
Yeah.
But finding clients, like, what kind of has worked for you over the years? What would be a key takeaway or a key tip that you would say to people about?
Yeah, sure. Look, at the start, I definitely was networking, so I would go to events. I would always have my business cards in my, handbag. I would just talk about, I'd meet someone and then I would ask questions, if you had a little fairy godmother, what would you get them to do? And I think that's where I started, where people would go, clean up my emails or my database or shredding. I'm like, I've got a great way of doing that. I think the biggest thing too is people spend so much time on doing a little task that if they had have delegated it, it might have taken a VA 5 minutes to do. So it's just a big training. So I can say, the big thing where people say, you charge $50 an hour, for example. Wow, that seems really expensive. Well, if you were to turn that around and say, well, within 1 hour, I can achieve this, 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 and this, and I can give you back this, this, and this, they go, perfect. Yeah. So I kind of found that was my starting point. Yeah. And now most of my clients, my books have been closed for quite some time, like for ongoing clients. So it's different now, but that's how I definitely did start. So now it's more word of mouth, or that I get in and just help a VA jump in and do some sort of background work. So definitely connect with other VAs. I think that's probably been one of my biggest takeaways, and where I've got most of my work is from other VAs that I have connected and supported and given back and helped out over the years.
Yeah, no, I can definitely, vouch for that. That's definitely been a great way for me as well. Talking, just having a conversation and engaging.
And it doesn't have to always be about work. You can connect with other people on different levels and have a passion. Like, I was really keen to learn how to do WordPress, and Nicole from, what's Nicole's business name?
Can't remember.
Nicole, sorry. Picasso Media, I think she's still under Picasso.
Yes.
She was a great mentor to me, and she probably has no idea how much of a mentor she was, but she taught me how to get into the back end of WordPress and taught me different things. You've taught me how to do, like, I was terrible at grammar, and I still am. Don't ask me, Jodie from Virtually Organised, to proofread anything, because it is not my mojo, and I'm happy to admit that. So I would always get onto Ingrid and go, can you proofread this for me? Because if I send it back, it would just be atrocious. So first one to admit that, and there is no point in me even trying to do it when I could have given it back to you and it would have been done perfectly and within a quarter of the time.
That's, work to your strengths, basically. That's what we're saying.
Find some friends that you can actually rely on and that you can trust.
Yeah.
Don't give up on your dreams.
Well, my dear, with that, I really want to thank you for giving up your time today for us. And I think people will find this very valuable and insightful about what it can be like for VAs who are virtual dinosaurs. Like us. Yeah, I know. But the thing is that we love it, and I know you do, and it's what makes our hearts sing, is to be able
absolutely. Absolutely. And look, the only thing I miss about going into an office is the Friday afternoon drinks.
Yes. Well, we do them now on Zoom.
And we do them virtually, so it's a win-win. So if you know, there's still, if you're starting out to be a VA and you're really worried about not having connections, they happen. You can still go to events. You can still, like, there's VA events all around Australia all the time. You can still go to world, like, online events and meet people. So don't be afraid.
And we've been to definitely VA conferences together, which, you know, has been fantastic for us, and it helped us to network with our colleagues in the industry and meet other people and expand our knowledge and all sorts of things. So there's all that available.
Keep learning, keep being, like, don't get discouraged, ask questions. Don't be afraid to ask questions, and just enjoy the industry, because it really is. And look, I'm excited about the growth and where it can take us all, because now that COVID's happened, people have actually realized that they can work from home.
Anywhere. Yeah.
Anywhere.
Yeah. As long as they've got an internet connection. And, you know, like, that is our world has changed and played into the VA's hands, actually, in a big way. So
it has.
All right, my lovely. So I want to thank you. Thanks so much for your time. Anyone who wants to get in touch with Jodie, you can get in touch with her through VA Institute, or I'll put her website details on this when we post it live. I'm
always here for chat.
Yeah, she is. Okay. Thanks.